Hi, it's Asher. Let's talk about Something is Killing the Children. Because, oh boy, something really is getting those children. I've wanted to read the series forever, and when I first picked it up for the first time, I don't know why I called the bluff with the title. Like, I don't know why I thought it was going to be like, ooh, like, maybe, like, we won't really get to see it, but, like, what maybe something is, but no, something is actually absolutely getting those children. And in the first issue, you not only see what it is, but you see what happens to those children, and oh my god, they're gored. Something is Killing the Children is a series that started in 2019, and it is being written by James Tynion, the third. I don't know how to read Roman numerals. I think that's 3. I actually wasn't taught Roman numerals in school. We weren't taught it. You can partly blame Cuomo because I was in that weird kind of transitional period where the New York education system switched. So Andrew Cuomo is the reason that I don't know Roman numerals. Huh? Quote me. Trying so hard to figure out if this is a 3. I'm trying so hard to figure out if this is the 3, and the bit isn't funny anymore because now I'm just self-conscious that I don't know Roman numerals. It's a 4! Something is Killing the Children is rated by James Tynion the fourth and drawn by Werther del Idera. Gosh. This video for 2 reasons. One, this is getting a show. Did you know? Did you know this? I'm so excited and terrified for a show of this series. It's gonna be scary. Guys, do you know, like, it's gonna be scary? I'm already scared. 2, this is our book for the month of November in our Discord book club for my podcast that I am a co-host of. Here, you can join right here. This is for you guys. For time's sake, I'm not going to go through the entire arc, but I will re-jog your memory on the first issue. Re-jog. Refresh. How do you re-jog? We start with a game of truth or dare between some boys at a sleepover. Our focus of these first 5 issues is the boy named James, and James is asked truth or dare by another kid. James answers truth, and he is prompted with the question of, what's the scaredest you've ever been? James starts to weave this entire scary story of a monster in the ravine, and him and his sister just like got away at the last second, but they were so terrified. Boys call his bluff on it, obviously. What do you mean you saw a monster? And James says, okay, bet. Truth or dare? And then we cut to a scene with James and a police officer, I can infer, and James claims and admits that he was lying, that he saw a monster. And despite James telling this lie to impress his friends, the boys go down anyway when James asks truth or dare, and dare is picked. The scene of James and the detective, James is apologizing over and over again for his lie and for making up that story, but still, there was something near the ravine. Brings our main character of this series, Erica Slaughter, and she comes to Archer's Peak to investigate, the missing children, which there are plenty by the time she arrives in this town. She runs into James, issues 1, and asks him, what happened here? What happened to you? And what do you remember? James isn't really the most honest when talking to the detective, but with Erica, he recounts the entire story of what actually happened to his friends, and yeah, they were gored down by the ravine. Truth is, the kids went down to the ravine to call James on his bluff and investigate, and despite James telling a lie, there was a monster there. Issue 1 ends with Erica Slaughter saying, don't worry, I'm going to help you. I'm going to kill that monster. And James asks if he can help her. Let's get into the 2 topics that I really want to talk about for issue 1 specifically, which are the conversation of the emotional state between adults and children, and Erica Slaughter being a true final girl survivor. Let's start off with the emotional state regarding children and adults in this series. There is a very poignant moment where a father of a victim describes the moments that he saw in his son. The moments of emotional maturity, moments like comforting his mother when his dad gets laid off for a job, or a time that he was tutoring his sister in math and being patient with her. These are moments that this grieving father remembers, and he laments that these were sparks of a man that he never got to see. This kid, of course, being one of the victims of the monster in town. Breaks down specifically because he did not get to see his boy turn into a man, and now there's just hypothesis and what ifs of the type of man, adult, he could become, or could have become. James Tynion IV goes out of his way to really pinpoint and showcase the difference of the emotional state between children and adults. It is not only such a big theme within the series, but it kind of is the explanation for how this fantastical horror can occur in the first place. The difference and the cut line between a child and an adult when it comes to their perspective and their emotional view. The lore will build on itself for how these monsters come to life, if you've read past volume 1, but we already see the seeds being planted here that there is an innate difference with how the people of the town, the adults, the police officers, are operating versus the way the children are. Even without the context of the rest of the series, we see Erica Slaughter being the true middleman. She is the only one that truly understands that James is hurting, that James witnessed something and is a survivor of something, and because of that emotional state he is in, he is inherently reckless, stupid, impulsive, and likely to believe something he didn't believe before. This is something that she has to guide James through. She sees what could possibly happen to him while it is happening to him in his emotional state. But the way she treats the adults, she just has to look them real deep in the eye, especially like that one scene with the police officer, and just really try to get across how fucked they are in this situation if they do not listen to an Erica Slaughter. Even like the most conservative people in this town, even the most like kind of closed-minded people in this town, look at Erica Slaughter, look her in the eye and go, oh shit, we're fucked. They're both sides of the same coin, but the way and the difference between the adults not listening to Erica and James not listening to Erica is interesting to me. A scene found in issue 5, James has to be fed the horror by this octopus that Erica has. A little devil creature. The octopus has to indoctrinate James with information, with fear, with the idea that, hey, you did this. This is your fault. You caused this. Shouldn't you be just like those boys? Gored, left for dead. And James, already so scared, impulsive, vulnerable, spongy, listens and believes it. On the other hand, an adult like Tommy kind of just runs headfirst into the situation and has to see specifically for himself not only the monster that murdered his sister, but her actual corpse and body. He has to witness it with his eyes in order to believe the reality that he's in. Erica could not have told him otherwise or differently. He needed the physical proof and confirmation. I just think it's a really cool kind of showcase of how children have to be taught things while adults carry notions with them in every situation that they go through just because of their lived experience and how that inherently shapes how they're going to move and behave. Now, let me get to my second point and topic, which is Erica Slaughter being the most perfect survivor character I have had the pleasure of reading, honestly. She is so fine-tuned to this nonsense. She is truly a survivor character in every sense of the word, and if you read past issue 5, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But the evidence within these first 5 issues, I do want to focus on kind of the Taken 4 and 5, where we see the beginning persona and perspective we have of Erica Slaughter, of a mystery woman that has come to town to maybe do some good, do some trouble, and we see a more nuanced insight to her. Erica is, a bad caretaker, should not be trusted around minors. I don't really know. I don't think anyone's going to argue with me when I make that point, but I always feel a acute emotion in that scene in the cave where James gets shot and Erica says, "I'm sorry." She wasn't even the one behind the trigger, and she says, "I'm sorry." Heartbreaking. Erica Slaughter so deeply understands her duty to this child. It didn't matter that James broke his promise of not going into the cave. All that matters is that under her watch, a child entered this situation of danger. And because of that, Erica Slaughter apologizes. She apologizes for even having James come near this cave. She apologizes for even having him witness this fight to begin with. She apologizes for the bullet wound. She apologizes for the fact that she's in his fucking town. In that one line, saying "I'm sorry" while this kid is shot. Like, at the end of the day, Erica Slaughter is doing a job. We learned that intimately past this volume 1, but you can see even with the phone calls and how apprehensive she is to even, send this information out. She's a survivor character and a woman that has to do her job. She survived, and now she has to do her job, in which she witnesses death, decay, and destruction daily, either has a hand in it or not, and has to take out the garbage and leave. All this you can glean from the first 5 issues. Volume 1 of Something Is Killing the Children is such a strong introductory into this comic series. I haven't read it in a while just because I did my binge and then I was like, oh, that was a lot! And then, I stopped. But just going back and rereading Volume 1 for book club purposes and for this video purposes, it is so fascinating the way James is able to plant the seeds of Erica not only being a conflicted individual, but Erica really being an individual that has no fucking choice but to walk straight. She cannot look back at anything that has happened to her, anything that has happened to the kids she is working with, anything that has happened to these people. She has to move forward. I've been Astro. Go give me a tip on my Ko-fi so I can buy more cat ears. I only got 3 here. Maybe we can get like one